All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Dr. Nicholas? I trust his comments will be much briefer because he did make me aware that he's anxious to return to campus to resume his workday.
And listen, I'm not the most emotional person, but I'm a little emotional right now, so hopefully I can keep it together. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I woke up this morning with that scripture on my mind because 5, 7, 10 years ago, I never would have thought I would be sitting in this seat. Not because of my abilities, but because my aspirations were not that at that time. But I appreciate the board, Chair Romero, Dr. Gallo, all the members of the board. Thank you all so much for having this faith and vision about me that I can keep things together at McNeese. I'm more than certain that I can. I want to acknowledge some people. I want to start with my wife, Tabitha Nicholas, who joined me today. She has been with me since 2001. When I was a second-year student at McNeese, she was a first-semester freshman, and I took her before anybody else could. And I did not let her go from that day. And we've been married now over 18 years, and she's been with me every step of the way on this higher education administration journey, which is often very demanding, and her patience and the love that we receive from our two sons has really been my motivation and inspiration to continue. I also want to thank my parents, who I know are nowhere near a computer screen right now. My dad is 87, my mom is 73, and technology is not their forte. But just so family members may be able to show them this recording, I want to thank them for the way they raised me and how they motivated me throughout my childhood and even into my early adulthood. I also want to thank members of our executive leadership team. We have two here today. We have Ms. April Broussard, who's our CFO and Vice President for Business Affairs, and Dr. Michael Buckles, who's our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, who took the time out of their day to come down and support me today. I really believe that is the secret sauce to our success at McNeese the last couple of years. It's the leadership team that we have had and the core that we have and how we work together, challenge each other for the betterment of McNeese. And in his absence, I want to recognize Dr. Wade Roos. Dr. Roos has been very instrumental to me for the last 6 years, and he probably would say the same thing about me. In 2019, I was within a year of being a dean at McNeese, and Dr. Roos was hired to be a dean at McNeese. And within a couple of days of him starting at the university, I'm in my office, and I hear somebody come into the reception area with the Cajun voice saying, "Who is Ked? Who is Ked?" And my assistant at the time let him in the office, and he said, "Man, I've been here 2 days, and I've heard your name about 5 or 6 times. I needed to come and know who you were." So we sat down, had a conversation, and from that point on, we've been attached. You know, he would often say that I was his right arm. Well, he was also my right arm, so I guess we were conjoined twins. And my wife can attest, on my drive here this morning, he and I had a conversation as we do literally every day, which I don't expect to stop as a result of him moving over. So I just thank him so much for his support. The support system that I have at McNeese and in my personal life, I want to thank those individuals. And last but not least, I want to thank students. And I know this board is represented by the student bodies of our campuses. But I want to thank students, because as much as we believe we pour into students, students pour into us. And they teach us things about ourselves. We learn about the generational changes through them. And it's really the students that prepare us for opportunities such as this. So I was asked to put together a bio by our comms team for some press releases and stuff that they have coming up. And I really reflected on my professional journey for the last almost 20 years. And I think we've all been in that situation where maybe you're doing a resume or you're submitting information about yourself, and you really don't recognize how much you've accomplished. And as I put that together, I reminded myself that I'm prepared for this opportunity. I reminded myself that I've been at McNeese through the ups and the downs, through the positive times, through the negatives, the challenges that we had to overcome, everything that we experienced in 2020. While I may have been a behind-the-scenes person, I was at the table making the decisions that allowed our university to dig out of the turmoil that we were in at that time and where we are today. I also reflected on when I finished undergraduate and went on to grad school, and I had to get letters of recommendation. And I went to one of my professors. She wasn't an advisor, but just somebody who I trusted, to write a letter of recommendation. And she gave me the letter of recommendation, and I read it. It wasn't in an envelope, but she gave it to me, and I read it. And on that letter, she said, Kedrick Nicholas is a born leader. And at the time, 22 years old, I really did not know what that means. But as I developed and continued to grow as a professional, I recognized what it meant to be a born leader. And the fact that even when you don't want to lead, just who you are and what you bring to the table will allow you to excel, and other folks will recognize your leadership abilities and ask you to lead. We are prepared as a team to continue the momentum that we have had. There will be no change to our approach. We will continue to focus on the recruitment, retention, and job placement of the students that matriculate at McNeese State University. The strategic plan that we developed under the Roos administration will remain in place and will continue to be the catalyst for our continued success. With all due respect to Dr. Hebert, I definitely think he deserves the acclaim for what he dealt with. I think about Dr. Bruno, who served in the interim position after returning back to ULM, and my soon-to-be counterpart, Dr. Kolaru. I pledge to be one of the best interim presidents this UL system has ever seen. That's the challenge I put on myself. And also, I want to make sure that our university is prepared and that this seat as the president at McNeese can be a coveted opportunity for whoever the next permanent president will be. We really want it to be a turnkey experience for them once they are named, and that the university is in a positive position to help them succeed. So again, in closing, thank you to the members of the board. Thank you to everybody in the room for your support. There's so many people in here that I can name that have been a part of my success. This UL system has been a part of my success. In 2017, I was a part of the inaugural class of the Management and Leadership Institute under then Dr. Henderson, who was president at the time, and Dr. Caprice Ayub, who was the coordinator. I always say that was a life-changing experience for me and opened up doors that I never thought I would be able to walk through. So I am excited, elated for this opportunity, and I assure you all that I will work as hard as I can to maintain McNeese State University for the future. Thank you.